Salute, salute world. It's the one and only. Tapping in again. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. Hey, it's been a minute. I'm out here in beautiful California, living the dream, or living in a dream. Just want to talk about, man, never doubt your ability to change yourself. Let me make you aware of why I say that. You always have the ability to change what's coming to you. Simply knowing and understanding that what's coming to you is a reflection of what's going on inside of you. So whatever's going on inside of you, you got to always remember you have the ability to change what's coming to you by changing what's going on inside of you. Because as within, so without. So that's important to or to remember because when you get caught up in the matrix of reality, you'll forget that you can always change any kind of situation or circumstance that's in front of you. Now, a situation and circumstance oftentimes will cause a certain reaction in your system, in your nervous system, in your subconscious mind. And whatever that reaction is, that's your work, right? So that spike or that emotion that you feel, it's an indication of what's going on inside of yourself. So always remember if you don't enjoy what's happening in your experience, you can change it. And everything is subject to change the moment that you set your mind on changing, right? Because it's just your mind following what your system is leading it to. So remember that. Why am I saying this? Well, it's just important to understand, a very important piece of my process to just speak in my mind. But there's always a lesson to be learned right here in the moment. And this is the current moment in which I'm able to measure my own system, and one of the things in which, why do I say it's important to never doubt the change that you can have, your ability to change yourself? Why is that important? Because it appeals to so many different areas in your life, right? If you're experiencing a lack of health, it's your attention on the lack that is creating that lack, and there's nothing else going on. So if you feel like you're sick, that's you putting your attention on being sick instead of being in a healed state of mind or being and operating in health. There's a difference. Same thing goes with wealth, right? The moment that I choose to focus on what's not there, then I'll create a more of what's not there because that's where my focus is going. But again, there's the opposite of that where I can focus on what is here. And whatever is here in your experience right here, right now, is something that you got to begin to measure because what you measure will grow. So you got to measure what's here in order to understand what's really here and understand the abundance of what is here. What is here? Well, what is not here, right? There's everything here. Everything's happening right now in your experience. How much air did you breathe today? Are you calculating how much air you're breathing today? How many times did your body regulate itself by pumping and circulating your blood? How many times has your blood been circulated today? You don't have to worry about the circulation of your blood. You don't have to worry about anything that is not of your concern. You control what's in your control and you let go of everything else. So, whatever you're experiencing in today's now reality is an experience that you are having right now. So, that's an experience. So don't take away from that experience by telling a story that takes away from that experience, right? Tell the story that adds to your experience. What is actually happening? How do you define what's happening with you today, right now? How you define that will determine what happens next. So you're never stuck. If there's one thing that I've learned from all the years of my study, self development, and specifically from my mentor, AZD, if you don't know who he is, so look him up. You should be clear on this one idea. And this one idea is something that it's true the moment that you hear it or that you realize it, right? But there is change in you that needs to, no, there's not change in you. There's change that's always happening. The one constant in this universe is change. So there's change always happening. And the change that's happening, find your peace in that change, right? Be adaptable. Learn how to adapt. Learn how to thrive in uncertain and unstable situations and circumstances. That's how a tree continues to stand. Look at these trees, right? These trees handle all kinds of wind, all kinds of pollution from the cars, all kinds of life, right, coming to interfere with it. But it is in the unstable conditions that it gets to prove the truth of its own stability. It's the pressure that it's facing. How you doing, brother? On the outside that allows that the roots and the foundation to prove themselves worthy of that structure. Therefore, it begins to formulate into a tree. I don't know if what I'm saying is even making sense. What I'm saying, and for those with the ears to hear, can hear me. If you don't hear me, it's all good. Just on my way to Starbucks right now. I just wanted to, tap in, offer this glimpse of wisdom while I'm walking, and just pass on the good word that you're not subject to the situations, circumstances, and conditions in which you may find yourself in. You don't have to stay stuck. You can change. You change yourself deliberately, intentionally, step by step, moment by moment. You operate in full faith, knowing and understanding that everything's happening how it's supposed to happen for you. There's nothing else going on. So it's your due diligence to guide your life consciously, right? So if you don't like something, change it. How do you change it? Well, go within yourself, see what you rather have. Focus on that, begin to take steps in that direction. I'd rather get paid from these videos that I am broadcasting while I'm streaming. I'd rather be paid for that instead of not being paid for it. So, what's one action that I got to take? Well, I got to stream. I got to live stream. I got to put my voice out there. I need to be heard by somebody so that they begin to recognize the value of wisdom. Oh, what they talking about? I got these directions in my ears. Uh, right. So I got to begin to take steps in that direction. So that's one of the actions in which I'm taking that backs up what it is that I'm talking about. So you got to begin to look at what actions is the person that's most successful, the person, the version of you, right, that has what you want. What are the actions that they're taking on a daily basis? Are they live streaming? Are they journaling every single day? Are they writing a script for the next movie? Like, what are the actions that you got to take that back up who you say you want to be? It's a deep question to answer, but when you come to the answer of that, you'll find yourself in a new space. And then you begin to truly create and truly evolve at a different rate, at a different place. That's how it works. From my experimentation thus far, that's how it works. Supposed to be finding a Starbucks right now, but it don't look like it's over here. So I'm about to get over here. But yeah, man, just want to come on here and spread some truth, spread some wisdom. I don't see no, actually, I don't even have the thing set up. Let's see. Top messages, all messages. Right. So yeah, I just want to come on here and speak some truth, speak some wisdom, uh, from my perspective, you know what I'm saying? And continue to add value because that's what the future version of me would do, knowing that it's my responsibility to deliver to y'all with clarity. So if y'all got questions, then ask questions. But to deliver to y'all with clarity the steps on how to become the best version of yourself. And you got to understand and operate in your power, knowing that you can always change what you're experiencing in this life. You're not stuck. You're not meant to stay stuck. But the way that you change is to take inspired action. It is inspired action for me to go live and tap in and add value by just spreading my mindset. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's valuable to somebody or not, it's valuable to me first and foremost. And that's the most important thing. If it's valuable to me and I can share it with somebody else and that somebody else can go ahead and pick up wisdom or insights or gems from what I'm saying, okay, and then now we taking steps in the right direction. But it's got to be valuable to me first. It's valuable to me simply because I'm spewing out my thoughts and ideals, but I'm becoming more clear as to what's actually happening. You know, I'm changing myself. Before this to be transparent with y'all, I was cooped up. You know what I'm saying, in the house, like I had my stomach is just fucked up. Right, stomach is no good. Been feeling like that for the last couple of days, and that to me is a clear indication. Okay, it's time to regulate my system. Regulating for me simply when it comes to the gut is fasting. But it's a powerful lesson to learn because I had been ignoring the signal for some time. There's moments like those that lead you when you're paying attention. You pay attention before the signal from the body comes, because by the time it manifests in the body, is that Starbucks up there? I think that is Starbucks up there. Right, jeez. Yeah, by the time it manifests in the body, you've already been notified how many times, right? How many times did you get the signal? Before somebody gets cancer, before somebody um, experiences some kind of heart disease, Alzheimer's, dementia, how many signs did you get before that actually manifested? That's the really deep question that I think a lot of people will be scared to answer because your body is always in communication with you. I know when I'm overindulging in something, and I know it because my body gives me a signal. So it's paying attention, learning from the signals in which you are getting. And those signals will always lead you in the right direction because why is your own nervous system responding to you? Learn to pay attention, stay aware of what's happening with your body, listen, right? And that changes your day-to-day experience, right? When I'm listening to my body, when I'm not overreacting, it's become so clear when you step into a certain arena, like a strip club, for example, or even a nightclub, and you're around other people, or even when I step on the strip, I'm around other people, I'm aware of how my nervous system is reacting to the environment which I find myself in. Again, this is all credit to my mentor who I've been studying with for years. The reason why is because he's a genius, and but he's a genius simply because he's putting together his own science, and it's been the science that I've been attracted to or wanting to know about my whole life. The science of energy and conscious awareness. You know what I'm saying? And man, anything that I've seen when it comes to the martial arts realm, but that's a whole nother conversation. Anyways, my main communication in that is saying that it's important that you read or listen to your nervous system. When you are interacting with people, a lot of people are unconscious of how they interact with other people, right? So they'll be making a let me turn this off right quick. Hold on real quick. We back. We back. Um I hope it's back. Yeah, that's back now. Oh, I guess it's not where I walk. I walk this way. Right on, right on. California is different. Beautiful out here, but it's different. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so paying attention and listening to your nervous system. You know what I'm saying? There's always a way to measure where you're at, how you're responding to life. So paying attention, being aware of, okay, my nervous system. Oh, that's what I was talking about. I was talking about other people. So look, I operate in many different fields, or end up studying and observing others, individuals, and there's so much that's being sub communicated in a common interaction, a common dynamic that if somebody's aware of when it comes to just a consciousness level, they will actually pick up on those cues and know exactly where to direct that communication. Whereas other people will just subconsciously communicate to somebody else, hey, I'm insecure as fuck, right? And I don't know how to communicate my truth. I don't know how to say what I want to say. I don't know how to hide the fact that I'm angry about the situation, or whatever the case may be. Like their communication is so bad that their body is saying one thing, but their mind is saying another thing, and then their words are saying something completely different. Trust me, this is a disease that we've all had because we've all been programmed on that frequency to be operating in covert hostility in our communication, right? To be passively aggressive, right, with our communication, to communicate our frustration in our tone. These are the things that we've been programmed to do. And until you undo that program, you may never know what's available to you. Because why? Because you are stuck in the program. It's not your fault, but it is your responsibility. It's your responsibility to do something about that. You can reprogram yourself. So that's what I mean when I say never doubt your ability to change yourself. Your ability to change yourself is very simple and understanding. All you got to do is reprogram, write the program again. We saw the movie The Matrix. It's one of my favorite movies. Never seen it. I don't know what you're waiting on. You're missing out on life. But we see it in The Matrix where he's inside the Matrix and he tells Tank, I need this program. Right? They dial in. So you got to dial in. What's dialing in? It's you simply going inside of the mind that you were gifted with, closing your eyes, and coming to a clarity. Yeah, I'm at my destination, so we're gonna be wrapping up. So, coming to clarity of what you actually want, or what you got going on. You know what I'm saying? And inside of yourself, and then designing your reality properly. Hello, hello. So that's what it takes. You got to begin to craft the reality, your experience on a day-to-day basis, and your ability to do that will detail to you your ability to change your reality. That's what I was talking about programming, right? So simply rewrite the program, rewrite your experience. How do you reprogram yourself? Well, you can start by clicking the link in my bio and you downloading a free created it for you. It's a free audio. It's a baseline reset audio for anybody. So I recommend starting there and starting to deprogram your mind. And then you can utilize what is known as binaural beats. So look into binaural beats and look for unprogramming waves or reprogramming waves, theta waves in particular. This is just the name of the frequency that you got to tap into. But you want to do this at the beginning of your day and at the end of your day, right? You wake up in the morning, begin to program yourself and set your mind consciously on the feeling of the wish fulfilled, as Neville Goddard says. Set your mind on what it is that you want at the utmost, right? And don't think about it, think from it. So begin to think, feel, and speak from the place of already having what you've already, desired. As I look at myself in the camera right now, speaking as if there's millions of people watching, because that's my truth right now, I would speak the truth in the same manner because it doesn't change the potency that there's a million people on versus there being zero people on, or one person on, or three people on, or 10 people on. It doesn't matter. What matters is that I get my truth out and I speak as if it's already true because it is. It is true that I have millions of people watching me. It's just the truth. It is what it is. I'm living that right now, and I would walk, move, and speak and act in the same manner that I'm doing right now because I know the truth of what I'm speaking. You got to follow through and understand that it's about how you program yourself and how you see yourself. How I see myself continue to evolve on a daily basis because I'm surrounding or I'm plugged into my mentor. My mentor is constantly changing every single day. But not only that, I began to structure my day way back in the year 2020 was when I first became conscious of the fact that I have a daily process. I have a daily routine that structures the way that I think, I move, and I speak, and I act on a day-to-day basis. That's programming. It's the physical programming. So you got to tap into different elements, right? The physical. There's the actual physical programming of your system. There's I was gonna say the neural, but the neural or the mental realm, right, of your programming that has to happen. There's a spiritual programming that has to happen, and then there's an emotional programming that has to happen. You got to set up the structure and connect all our fourfold nature is what it's called, right? From the mental plane to the spiritual plane, right? To the emotional plane, to the physical. All of these planes got to be in one. How do you do that? Well, you simply satisfy all of that by stepping back and knowing that you're none of that. That's your nature as a vessel of light on this planet. But you are not yet any of those aspects. You are what sees beyond that, right? You know this when you start to meditate. You understand, you begin to distance yourself from thoughts. Oh, this is not my thought. That's a thought that I received or that was in my vibrational frequency. There's certain thoughts that you're having right now that are not your thoughts. So don't attach yourself to your thoughts. One of my favorite phrases from Jesse Lee Peterson, if y'all know who that is, look him up. Uh, but it's all thoughts or all lies all the time. Say that again. All thoughts or all lies all the time. Your thoughts are not truth. They are thoughts, and they seem like they're your thoughts because you're receiving these thoughts. That does not mean that they're yours. What are your thoughts? Your thoughts are the ones that you choose to focus on. So if you choose to focus on the lack of something, which is simply a lie, but it's just a thought, once again, but you're choosing to focus on that, that's how powerful your focus is. Your focus is so powerful that it begins to attract more thoughts like that. So you're more powerful than you believe, and that's something that I had to own at some point, right? Or I'm still coming into an awareness of owning. I'm not saying that I got it all figured out, but I'm aware of the power of my focus. So I don't let my mind drift on things that are not working for me. What kind of sense does that make? It doesn't make any sense. I got to begin to focus on what it is that I want. So what do you want? Be clear on what you want, because the more clarity you have on what it is that you want, therefore you can begin to walk in that nature and understand, okay, this is what I want. So I got to think thoughts on that pattern. Not only do I have to think that, I'm living that. You cannot escape the thoughts that you're receiving, but you can tune to a certain frequency that you're thinking on a frequency that you want. So you want to think about the things that you want, right? You think about the next version of you that has more money, that's in love, that is extremely healthy, that is extremely successful with business, family, real estate, whatever, right? Whatever the story is that you were sold and that you bought, right? Because I too bought a story, and I started to move in that direction, whatever, right? You can attain all that stuff, it's fine, but no one understand none of that is you. But the moment that you begin to move in that direction, you got to know and understand. Okay, now I got a responsibility, right, to be clear on the way that I'm directing myself to those things, because you're directing your life in one direction or another. If you're not aware of where you're directing it, it does not change the fact that you are directing your life in a certain way. You are so powerful, you don't even know how powerful you are, because you're focused on something or the way or that direction is moving you in that direction. So you begin to have thoughts of lack, or thoughts of just doubt and worry, and so on and so forth. These negative feelings, just as when I say them, they are negative feeling frequencies, right? But you begin to stir up thoughts in that direction. Well, you are so powerful that you're going to begin to manifest things in that direction. Do you know how powerful you are? Like, it's something I got to remind myself. Man, I've been there directing myself in the wrong direction. So what do you got to do? Again, you got to begin to reprogram yourself. You got to be responsible. Be conscious of the responsibility that you have. You have a responsibility to begin to direct your life, because when you're directing your life, other people will fall in line with the direction of your life. Because why? Because you're moving in that direction. Or people will, again, they will align with the direction that you're moving in. So then now you have more momentum and more power moving on your behalf, simply because why? You chose to align with your direction, with your path. Nobody else can walk the path for you. Nobody can do what it is that you're meant to do. These are, as I'm speaking right now, I'm reminding myself, nobody's meant to live or move or speak or act or speak or communicate, deliver the value that I have to deliver. I'm speaking from a world of experience, right? And I'm in the process of application of everything that what I've been talking about. If you look at any videos that I've made from the past, I was simply trying to get to the place where I'm at now. The same is true for you. You can look back on old photos. If you're not making videos on a regular basis, look back on your old photos and know and understand, okay, I'm not that same person. I've evolved, I've changed, I've grown, I became greater. I'm no longer who I used to be. I am now the evolved version. So know and understand and recognize that. When you recognize that, man, this life is a game, bro. It's fun. It's meant to be fun. Not everybody treats it like it's fun, but it is fun. Maybe you, wherever you are, whatever you got going on in your life right now, maybe you're not walking the path in which you want to walk to the finest T, right? Maybe you're taking steps in that direction, but it doesn't seem like you're there yet. Well, just remember, it's about where you're focused at, right? Focus on the fulfilled desire. The end, you know what? Let me give you one power, more power, right? Focus beyond the ends, meaning, okay, it's already happened. Whatever it is that you're wanting, it's already happened. It's a Jedi mind trick when I do it like that, okay? It's already happened. It's done. Congratulations, you made it. How does it feel to have what you've been wanting for so long? What's it like? What's it like to go without having something for so long and then to now have it? Because you simply put your focus on it. It's not that you worked the hardest that you've ever worked. It's not that you had to sacrifice, a family member. It's not any of that. That's what happens along the path, no matter what. It's not that you failed 10,000 times. What it is that you tuned to the frequency that you wanted, and then you allowed yourself to hold and maintain that frequency. Congratulations. That's a big deal. Don't discount yourself. Don't discredit yourself for going through that what you needed to go through. It's not about how long it takes or how much effort you put in. It's about when did you tune to the frequency that you knew you were aware and that you could align, that you could receive what it is that you really wanted. 'Cause that's what matters. It's a matter of the frequency. It's not a matter of timing. Forget the 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 old way of doing things, man. We're living in a new year, a new verse. Things have changed, things have evolved. We're no longer the same person. You're different. You've evolved, you've changed. Congratulations. Congratulations. You made it. At some point, you did not exist. Now you exist. You made it. You are the best. So remember that and then move in that, man. That's what we gotta actualize what we're talking about. You understand me? I gotta continue to move in this. And then that's what's so important about me making these videos or streaming. Because I got to get my thoughts out, man. I have these thoughts every single day. If I was real with y'all to the point where I'd be like, man, this is all I think about, then y'all would actually hear my real thoughts and my real ideas. But I don't do that because people can't receive that, right? Not everybody's ready to receive or can appreciate that to the level that I'm talking about. But it's important that you know and you recognize who you are, and who you are will naturally shine the more that you share what you got going on inside of yourself. You don't have to necessarily live stream. You don't have to necessarily stick in front of an audience. Maybe you do. Maybe that's the right path for you. For me, this is the right path, right? I got to continuously speak the truth, the wisdom that I know is my truth, and I just got to continue to walk it. Because look, when I've done this before, I've done this many times before, where I would get on video and I would talk about the next level of experience, right? Or me walking the path of manifesting exactly what it is that I want. I've done private videos, I've done public videos, right? Some that I probably shouldn't have released, all the way to ones that people will never see. But that's the path, man. You got to speak it. You got to live it. You got to move on that frequency. I'm speaking real game right now, real truth. And whoever can pick up on it, I hope you actualize it. I hope you put it into practice and know and understand it's your responsibility. What you're experiencing right now is your responsibility. It's your ability to respond. Don't miss what I'm telling y'all. It's your ability to respond. How are you going to respond to that situation that you did not want to happen, but it happened? What's your response? You have an ability to respond. How you respond is going to change and literally morph the situation that's in front of you. One of my favorite quotes that I've said many times on the YouTube channel. I'll continue to say it probably to the day I die, or today I continue to live beyond this realm. You understand me? But what I want to say is that quote by Dr. Wayne Dyer. Y'all don't know who he is, you know what I'm saying? Look up, tap in with him. But essentially, he said when you change the way you look at things, get this, man, hear this, write this down if you're really tapped in with me. When you change the way you look at things, things change. Again, when you change the way you look at things, things change. You're not meant to stay in the same existence. You're not meant to be stagnant in life. You're meant to become the greatest version of yourself. And how you're going to do that is begin to walk the path right now, like I'm doing right now. I'm making this video right now as a testament to who I'm becoming. I'm not playing with y'all no more. You understand me? Now it's time that I continuously just follow through what I say I'm going to do. And that's what I'm doing. But it's not just that. It's simply this is an action that I would take, knowing that I've already made all the money that I need to make, knowing that I've already solved all relationships in my life that I need to solve, knowing that I am optimizing myself to become the greatest version of myself because that's what I'm doing. I'm not here to do anything else. I take on this job and this job and do it, whatever, whatever. I don't even see them as jobs. I see them as forms of service. Service first and foremost to myself, if I'm being real about it. You understand me? But then I'm of service to others because I'm putting myself in those positions. I'm doing that consciously. I'm not stuck. I'm never stuck. I can always step into my truth and know and understand. So that's what I'm here to do. Continuously. I got to continuously stream these ideals and these thoughts so that y'all are aware of like, yo, it's our responsibility to give out your communication. You gotta let the world know who you are and what you're doing in this life. Y'all should know I'm a master of my own mind. Y'all should know I'm deliberately creating my reality on a continuous basis. And I've let go of that responsibility quite some time, continuously. But that's my responsibility. I can choose to respond differently to my experience. I can choose to program myself. I can choose to put my mind on what I want to focus on, and I can get to that end result. I know that because I'm a man. I have the will, I have the desire of God operating through me. And I'm not just talking about it this time. Many times I've made videos where I'm just talking about this shit. And I'm like, man, you got to do this, you got to do that, so on and so forth. But have I been walking it? No, not as actively as I'm doing now. I'm doing that on a continuous basis. I got to walk the path. There's no shortcuts in this life. I thought there was many shortcuts many different times. To the millennials, you know what I'm saying, or the people that's coming to whatever next generation is, the X generation, whatever, right? There is no easy path. There is your path. So your path may be tomorrow you get rich, but how do you handle that those riches, that wealth? You understand me? That's going to be your path. You may have to put in another 30 years. I put in 32 years this far in this life, right? Knowing that I'm continuously moving along the path of becoming that greater version of myself. And that's what? That's simply mastery of myself, mastery of my mind, my spirits, my body, my emotions. You understand me? All of that is an aspect. So the ups and downs of my experience, right? The roller coaster of experience of life is meant to teach you how to ride those waves. You know how many times I've been negative trying to buy something and something somehow, some way ends up working out. Do you know how many times that's happened? You know how many times I've looked at life and been like, man, I don't know how that's gonna work. So many times in my life, right? That's been the case. So it's not about what you don't have, it's about what your focus is on. Because what you don't have is simply a reflection of where your mind has been. But again, you're not stuck there. So you cannot doubt, do not doubt your ability to change. You can change yourself. You can evolve. You can become a greater version of you. You can define your reality differently today. But you got to begin to walk the path that you're meant to walk. You got to begin to take the actions that the person that who is most successful. If you would wake up and say that you've already gotten everything that you wanted, right? You would decided you understood how important meditation is, and you said, you know what, if I had this much amount of money every single day, all I would do is meditate. Well, then that's what you got to do. You got to begin to shift to that reality because you said all you would do is meditate. So then you got to begin to meditate. Because why? Because the version of you that is that would be doing that one activity or whatever it is that you would do, right? So find an activity. One of the things that I love to do is go to the gun range, right? So that's one activity that I got to pick up because that's something that is going to be natural, a part of my daily routine. Because why not? Right? That's not that's one of the skills I love to be proficient in. You understand me? To the point where it's not even a second a thought of how to utilize any kind of firearm or how to handle any kind of tactical situation where you gotta, what I'm saying, be quick. You gotta be swift on your feet. You gotta be quick with it. You gotta be able to adapt and move and thrive in any kind of situation or circumstance. That's the path in which I'm walking. So that's another action I got to continue to take, right? On top of these live streams. Now, live streaming is for the purpose or the understanding of knowing that there's a truth that I got to connect you to, right? Whoever you is that watches these videos, you understand me? I have to connect. I have a responsibility to connect you to some truth, the truth in which I came across. And that's gonna look different for you. It's gonna look different for me. It's gonna look different for that person. You know what I'm saying? Your wife is gonna be different from your girlfriend, from your for your cousin. You know what I'm saying? To you know what I'm saying? The girl down the block. Everybody's gonna receive and be able to tune their own instrument differently. But the purpose, the understanding of being able to tune your system is for you to operate in your true power. Who are you meant to be? What is it that you're meant to do in this life? Is the question. But always remember, you got the ability and responsibility to change anything that you don't like in this life. So you see something you don't like outside that creates the desire for you to have something that you do want inside. So you utilize what's going on inside of yourself to change outside of yourself. As within, so without. Something I don't like outside, I got to go inside myself to find what it is that I do like. You understand me? You're not stuck. Don't buy the lie that you're stuck, that you cannot change, they're like, man, there's something that's so important, but it's so basic. Like, no one understands. Okay, you can change yourself. So don't stay in that condition if you don't like that condition. Don't continue to put up with something that you don't like. Change, leave. You know what I'm saying? Like, do something about it, but don't stay in that condition unless you're doing it intentionally. That's a whole nother process. That's understanding the beast process. As a man, that's so important for you to know and understand. The beast will sit in the fire and let it burn and learn how to contain what he feels. There's a reactive response to being burnt. I'm sitting in the sun right now, and the sun just keeps continue to increase and increase and increase. So I'm out here and I'm burning. My skin's literally burning like this, and I'm shaking and shit. Right? If that happens, I gotta know how to contain what I'm feeling. So I got to ground myself. And there's a whole actual process to that. The steps to that are in my mentors class. So if you want access to that, you got to tap in with me on there. You understand me? But that's a whole nother topic in itself. So my main communication to y'all is knowing and understanding that it's your responsibility to be able to change yourself. Do not doubt the change that you are able to apply in your life. Again, you're not stuck. It's more than okay for you to be able to change yourself. It's more than okay for you to adapt and evolve and grow beyond what's comfortable for you. It's okay to not know what to do. It's okay to not know the next steps. It's okay to be scared to make the next step. But it's important that you know that you got to take that step. And you got to move in that direction. You have to say what you meant to say because without you doing it, it won't happen. Don't leave it up for anybody else to do. Every time I let my communication go, you know what I'm saying, into the responsibility of somebody else's hand, the message is always misconstrued. It without fail, it always happens because nobody can communicate for you what you're meant to communicate. So It's taking me 45 minutes to reach this point to be able to say, hey, it's your responsibility. But don't doubt, right? Doubts your doubts. And I give credit to Yogi Chris, who's, what I'm saying, a good brother of mine. What I'm saying? I give him credit, directly for that specific phrase because, I wasn't aware of that until I saw that when he has tattooed on his, I think it's his right arm. It says doubt, doubt. And he's a master yogi. You know what I'm saying? Traveled the world, literally was teaching yoga, across the world, across the nations, was running, his own yoga business and was living off of that. So he was a real life yogi, a real life nomad, a real life monk. He is. I would say he was, but he is, right? But learn to doubt your doubts, doubt your insecurities, doubts your fears, doubts the doubts that you've had, doubts the negative image of yourself that you've accepted for so long. Why not doubt that? You got to learn to doubt your limitations, doubt the 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 negative words that are coming to you, doubt those things. If you're gonna doubt, then doubt that. Never doubt yourself, never doubt your abilities. You gotta have, instead of what is doubts, is faith, knowing and understanding that, I'm faithfully moving through this life. I'm faithfully true to who I really am. I'm living in faith on a 24/7 basis. You understand me? I don't know what's going on, right? But it's so important that you take the responsibility every single day to change yourself. And really, it's just a matter of tuning. Once you get on a process and the frequency, you have enough momentum. Once you get on a daily process, you have enough momentum to begin to just simply tune the dial of your instrument so that you can begin to receive and operate on the frequency that you want to, so that you can begin to attract and have the things in which you want. The things in which you want are going to come as a result of you tuning to the frequency where you can receive those frequencies, or you can receive those things that you want. The recipe is simple: be who you need to be, do who the person who has the things, do those actions, right? Take those actions. The person that has $1 million is extremely responsible with their money. So we got to begin to become responsible with our money. We want to become successful in that manner. We got to tune to the frequency of what that is. But don't worry about the intricacies right now. Simply get to the frequency that you want. Simply get to the place of knowing and understanding, man, this is what I want in life. So I'm going to do this. And I'm going to operate in this realm. I'm going to see what thoughts and ideals and inspirations come my way because guaranteed, I can guarantee you, I've been fasting, what I'm saying, since last night, really, since about 11 o'clock last night. I'm going to go minimum of 24 hours. But that's an action that I'm taking that is a backing up me, somebody that is extremely optimized, right? When it comes to my own nervous system, when it comes to my body, the physical, and spiritual, and the mental, and emotional, because all of that is forced to come into one. You understand me? To deal with the level of it feels like a pain, but truly, what's going on is it's a parasite inside of you that's taking life from you. It's taking life from the foods so that you don't get the life, but it wants to feed itself. So that's what's going on the inside. I was talking about, what I'm saying, me feeling ill or whatever the case may be earlier. That's what's going on inside. So I got to begin to fast so that my own cells do what's natural. It's called autophagy. Once you get past the 16-hour mark, autophagy kicks in and it begins to your cells begin to eat the negative, the bad cells on the inside, and they begin to feed off of that. Because why? Because I'm not feeding them so much, right? So they now are aware and they're like, yo, okay, let's eat what's already here. They begin to take away the bad cells, and those bad cells begin to eliminate from the system. Your system is already set up for success, man. You're not meant to stay the same person at any day. Every single day is a day of transformation. But you got to be aware of the transformation that you're guiding yourself through. You're better than you were yesterday. I don't care what happened yesterday. I don't care where you're at now. You are better because of what happened yesterday. But remember, you woke up today. So today, don't rob today of your experience. This is not a light video at all. This is very, very important for you to know and understand. Maybe I'll clip this in particular, but you got to know and understand, people. There are no ordinary moments. Another quote from my mentor's mentor to him. There are no ordinary moments. This moment is extremely unique. Nobody's like you. Nobody's here experiencing what you're experiencing right here, right now. So do not rob yourself of this moment. Remember who you are. Remember what's available for you when you begin to become aware of there's a certain frequency that I'm supposed to be operating on. Tune to that frequency every single day, man. Listen to the music that you want to listen to. Get the good vibes going. Clear out the negative space. You know what I'm saying? The negative energies around you. Go for a walk. Get you some sunlight. You understand me? Eat some great food, some great fruits in particular. Tune to the frequency that you want and operate from there. Everything becomes clear when you start doing that, right? I have a different level of clarity. That's why I wanted to get on video. I have a different level of clarity I can speak to you from. Even though it didn't start as clear, I'm at a greater place of clarity now as I've spoken to you. And I've got these thoughts and these ideas like therapy. You know what I'm saying? So the greatest form of therapy could be just speaking. But speak to a camera. I don't care if nobody's watching. I don't care if the whole world's watching. Get on there and speak. Yeah, you get to a point where you got all kind of comments coming in, hater comments, you know what I'm saying, love comments, admiration. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's when you know you're doing something right, something's being heard. People are actually hearing what you got to say. But it's not meant for everybody. You don't understand that. And operating that truth. Don't be attached to any kind of limitations that your mind may bring when you're doing it. Just do it. Get out of your head and make it happen. That's the truth, man. That's what I got to deliver to y'all today. All right. It's been about 54 minutes, you know what I'm saying, of complete divulgence. You know what I'm saying? So anybody that made it to the end of the video, man, send me a text, send me a DM or whatever the case may be, man, and I'll go ahead and send you something free. I got a lot of free products and things of that nature. So, you know what I'm saying? I definitely want to show love. Show love back, you know what I'm saying, to me. Let me know that you tapped in. If you like this video, man, hit the like button and so on and so forth, man. It's always a pleasure to come on here and tap in. Once again, I'll go by the name Master myself. Do not forget this today is no ordinary moment. There is no such thing as an ordinary moment. Every moment is extraordinary, and you are that extra, man. Be the best and fuck the rest, man. That's what we say in IC Nation. What I always say is knowledge of self, is knowledge of wealth. It's the one and only master myself. Talk to y'all soon, man. Once again, hit the link in the bio, tap in. You know what I'm saying? I got some free products, I got some paid products, and I got a lot more coming very soon. Be the best and fuck the rest, man. Salute.